Hey, good morning. It's 9:26 a.m. It is July 1st, 2023. And that July 1st date it would have been my parents' anniversary had they still been living. I don't know how many years that would be. Like 1959 is when they got married. That's a long time. But anyway, they're dead. I just remembered this as the date. So anyway, I just wanted to come on here and make a video really quick. And because I obviously had some regurgitation going on, and I was thinking about my son's side of his family. And I am not trying to stir the pot in any way, but you know what I am trying to do? I'm trying to live out the rest of my life, in the way that I want to live it. Because I feel as though I've missed out too many years of my life dealing with the gang stalking and the bullying and the insisting on me being a part of a religion that I don't want to have anything to do with, and then dealing with people that I thought ties were severed, and they should have been severed a long time ago. I would like to talk about that a little bit this morning to get it off my chest, because I need to clear my path, because I have a life to live, whether you respect it or not. This is my life, okay? And obviously you've shown me that you don't value my life, but I value my life, okay? And I value my views, and I value my stance in life, everything about my life, which doesn't seem like much to you. Maybe not. Maybe you're more materialistic. Maybe you are status seekers. Some people are really into that. I live a very spiritual existence, and obviously we don't really agree when it comes to how we see things on that level. You believe in a particular religion, and I choose a different way of living. I don't really see as though there was much effort in the past, and I made a conscious decision, okay? I made a conscious decision when I did not marry Bruce, okay? I made a conscious decision, and it wasn't me trying to rebel. It wasn't me just trying to be like a bra burner, and this is up for women's lib, or it wasn't even that. It wasn't even a issue about any sort of political issue, but it was more of an issue of me understanding why it would not have worked, okay? I understood that there was a lot of things that were said that made me understand that this is not a good thing. It was not a good thing for me to settle into that family, okay? A lot of it had to do with race, and a lot of it had to do with, at the time it wasn't so much religion, but it was, a lot of it had to do with race at the time. And then also really reflecting about how I was treated by Bruce. Okay, Bruce was not always the most attentive person, and in fact, there was times where he kind of leaned towards mental cruelty, this is a lot of what goes on in relationships, interracial or not. I hear women telling stories all the time about men being kind of like weird, whatever. And so I made a decision to say no, and I fully took responsibility for me and my son, and ventured off. Now, maybe some people thought, that's bold, but I've always been the kind of person, if I made up my mind I was going to do something, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So that's what I did. Okay, now if you guys jumped on my train somewhere along the line, I really can't be responsible for that, right? But I do know that I took responsibility for Bruce. I know when I was told by Bruce at his house, in his parents' house, with his mother and his father present, that he wasn't going to pay child support. And so, you know what? We argued about it for a little bit, and I moved on. I took care of my son, okay, the best of my ability. And I never communicated with him for the longest time. And I know that I believe my son has a relationship with his dad, and I'm not going to obstruct that. He's an adult. He has a choice to make that. He has a right to make that decision. Okay. Terry Collins has always been very opinionated, and that was something I understood, that for the mental well-being of a person who is biracial, it may not be the best interest to have a relationship with this person, because I don't need him having those sort of conflicts in his mind. He's a beautiful being the way that he is, and he needs to understand that. It's more than just what goes on here in this earth about this issue about black and about white. It's like, he's a beautiful being. He doesn't need to have any sort of conflict about who he is. So it would be better to eliminate the riffraff. If you're going to be negative to somebody, why put someone in that environment? So I said no. It's not important to me. I'm not going to make the effort. If something happens that where they end up meeting or they spend time together, I'm not going to obstruct that, but I'm not going to sit there and insist on it. I'm not even going to encourage it. I'm not going to say anything. I'm staying out of it. Okay? This is choice. Okay? But my choice was, I accept it. I moved on. Believe me, I moved on, and I never sat there and tried to get you to be friends with me. I certainly don't want you imposing your life on me. This is my life. Now, maybe you grew up thinking that the only way a woman can be happy is if she's with a man and get married. When I was younger, yeah, I was really believing that. I believed that. Totally. I totally believed that. But as I got older, I realized this is not true. As a matter of fact, I'm happy. This is my life. I don't want to get married. Okay? And if somebody shows, obviously what you guys put in place, to me shows the extent of how I was right about you all along. See, I was right about you. Okay? This is a very racist bullshit ploy. Okay? You've just exposed yourself and confirmed what I thought all along. Alright? Now, I don't want any issues with you, but I do want to live my life. My way. The way that I have the right to live my life. You know what I mean? And I don't want you expecting me to be... I'm surprised you didn't get this fellowship for this. Is if, the Kingdom Hall is backing this up. I mean, you guys have really, honest and truthfully reduced your standards to a point of where I don't even know... I wouldn't even say that I could have respect for the Jehovah's Witness religion or faith. Now, there was a time where I would say I respect what Jehovah's Witnesses is the fact that they try to reference scripture before they make decisions. Okay, I respect that. Okay, I respect the fact that they take this literally and they really go around and they try to prophesize and they do this sort of thing. I do respect that. Okay. But this is an issue. But if this Kingdom Hall condoned and supported what she did, okay, then what I'm saying is why it's wrong is because they know scripturally they had no right to do that. I don't know if Bruce actually got baptized or not. I don't know. I haven't kept up with him. Never made an effort to keep up with him. But I know that baptized witnesses have a different responsibility than people who are not, or just like publishers or whatever. Whatever the case is, I'm not interested in conforming to a religion. Okay, I'm very comfortable with my spiritual views. I'm not trying to make any political issues. I don't believe that everybody is meant to be an autonomous spiritualist or whatever on their own. Some people belong in groups and churches and stuff like that. That's not my calling in life. Okay? And whether you agree with it or not, and it's my right. It's my right. And I think it's a problem when you have religion that wants to dole out the blessings and the curses or whatever. What I mean by that is, like, you get these groups, like, for example, some of these, they actually did a spoof of something similar on Family Guy. Now, I'm not a Family Guy watcher, but my ex-husband did watch it. There was this particular episode where I forgot the guy's name. Whatever. The thing is that this guy was trying to convince this person to be a part of his religion. So he would create all these chaotic things and disastrous things that would actually happen to him, so that this guy would be so broken that he would go back to this particular church and make it seem as though it was an act of God, right? It's like, I hate, he was making a point, Okay, which I thought was, when I was watching this particular episode, I was laughing because I understood he was talking about. Because I understand this sort of stuff exists. And as a matter of fact, it ends up happening to me. Okay, it's wrong. It's wrong to do that to a person. Okay, legally I have the right to believe what I want to. I have the right to present myself in front of an employer. And the things that I'm being discriminated against are, and being prevented from seeking employment or whatever, operating functionally in my own way, is against the law. Okay, I have the right to wear my clothes to work. Okay, and I would warn any woman who is with a man who is doing those sort of controlling things behind the scenes and trying to manipulate what a person, his woman does or whatever, through some sort of organized system. Okay, if a man feels uncomfortable with what a woman does, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not anybody's woman, but if he feels uncomfortable with what a woman is wearing, his woman is what their relationship, he should talk to her and say, you know what, it makes me feel this way. You know, when you wear this, can we talk about what you can and can't wear? Some men don't mind women wearing what they call sexy clothes, okay, as long as they're with them. And so maybe they might make some sort of arrangement, say, okay, when we're going out tonight, you can go ahead and wear this, but you can't wear this when you go out with your friends or whatever. That's for them to decide and make a decision on how they're going to work this out within their relationship. Okay, it is not your fucking employer's responsibility to keep your marriage together. If it is, guess what? That's a part of human trafficking. As a matter of fact, it falls under the category of sex trafficking. Those marital type things that you think is so frivolous, that you think is so important to interject in somebody's employment, that could be considered sex trafficking. Just because it's in a manipulation of some sort of forced relationship. Okay, this is why I know you have no respect for me, because I'm a different color than you. And believe it or not, just because I'm a different color than you doesn't mean I'm not smart. I'm not smarter than you. Okay, there's a lot of people who have 10 times the brain power than you, or within your race. Okay, we understand this is a political issue for this reason, because they don't like the fact that people like me do exist, so they try to silence them, bully them, and prevent them from doing what the things they want to do. It's called racism, is what it's called. Okay, but this is the fact, and I'm standing up for myself. I made this decision because I didn't want my son to have to be affected by this. By this issue that you just proven right. Now, there's a lot of things I need to do in these upcoming months. You know, and I don't need to deal with something that I walked away from a long time ago. I walked away from the Jehovah's Witness because it's not for me. I don't want my son be feeling limited in his life choices, so I didn't put that on him. I want my son to have whatever he wants to have. Whatever it is that's in his mind that he chooses to do, he has the right to do it. It's his life path, and God will, judge him accordingly. He will. Not you. Not anyone else. It's his choice. And he's an adult. I mean, what you guys do within your little family unit, and I hope to God you treat my son well. What you do in that family unit is your choice. But don't impose your shit on me. Because I don't want it. And I don't deserve it. I've had too hard of a life to sit here and be okay with the shit that you don't have a right to impose on me. Okay, I am very limited in my time on the earth, and I'm very determined to live it. However, and in whatever way that I choose to live it. And you don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. But you do need to legally get the fuck out of my way. I'm going to wrap up this video. And I want my son to live in a very peaceful life, a very peaceful business, and a happy one. So I'm not trying to drag him into this and make it so that I'm trying to tear anybody apart, because I'm not. I'm simply staying out of the equation. Wrapping up this video. Bye.